Bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Gracias por acompañarnos. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Feli Garcia Lopez, and I'm one of the Educator Innovation Leads at Team Flip at Microsoft. We are juntos y juntas today to explore a topic that is not only crucial, but also enriching for our students' educational journeys. It's about celebrating the beautiful tapestry of cultures that make up our classrooms. Culture, my friends, is not just a box to check in our lesson plans. It is a powerful force that shapes our students' identities and influences the way they learn. By recognizing and celebrating the unique cultural backgrounds and experiences of our students, we can create an inclusive and empowering learning environment. Today, we are here to discuss how we as educators, we can embrace and celebrate diversity, harnessing to enrich our students' lives and enhance their literacy skills. We would love to have you join the conversation and share your ideas. Acuérdense, recuerden, juntos y juntas somos mejores, siempre agarraditos de las manos y agarraditos del corazón. You can use the chat to exchange ideas, to engage with us live, or share on social. We would love to hear where you are joining us from. What are you from? And feel free to share a shout out to your school district in the chat. Nos encantaría que nos dejaran saber de qué parte nos están acompañando, de qué parte del mundo nos están acompañando y que manden un saludo a su institución educativa. Por favor, be sure to tag us using @MicrosoftFlip to keep the conversation going. Por favor, compartan con todos nosotros sus ideas, cómo han implementado Flip en el salón de clase, de qué parte nos acompañan y nuevamente envíen un saludo a su institución educativa en el chat. We're already looking at the chat and the chat is going on. It's awesome. Welcome everyone. Estoy feliz. I'm super excited to introduce our exceptional guest to our event today, to our today's event. They are dynamic educators who have utilized the power of technology, culture, and literacy in their school districts. They're amazing human beings. Son mis amigos del alma y de mi corazón. With a passion. They have a passion for diversity, education, and innovation. They are here to share their wisdom and all their experiences with all of us today. Throughout our discussion today, they will share with us creative initiatives, providing us with practical insights and inspiration that we can bring into our own classrooms. So be ready to be inspired by these incredible activities that have made significant impact on their students and their communities. Así que please help me give a warm welcome to our incredible guest, Zenaida, Debbie y Valentín con nosotros el día de hoy.
Thank you, Feli.
Hello. We're so honored to have you join us today for this conversation. Muchísimas gracias por haber aceptado la invitación. We're from the RGB, we're from the Rio Grande Valley, so this conversation is going to be a bilingual conversation. We're going to jump from English, our beautiful English, to our beautiful Spanish, and our favorite one, right, our Spanglish from here, from the RGB. So, el micrófono es todo de ustedes. Zenaida, would you like to start? To say hi to the audience and tell us a little bit about yourself, mi corazón, please.
My name is Zenaida Lizondo. I'm the Instructional Technology Director, focusing on elementary for PSJA. I've been an educator now for 19 years, going on 20 next year. I am a lifelong learner. I have 3 beautiful children, 2 of that have already graduated high school, but one from college. And I'm excited to be here and to share with you all today.
Thank you, Zenaida. Thank you so much for being here, mi corazón lindo. And Debbie, you want to be next, my love?
Sure. I am Debbie Pingle. I've been here with
Debbie, Debbie,
PSJ School District. I've been in the PSJ School District for 35 years. So, and that's my number of years in education. I taught for 22 years in the classroom, mostly second and third grade. And I sure wish we would have had flip back then in the classroom. It would have been so cool. But it was kind of pre-technology days. And I've been here with the instructional technology department for about 6 years, 7 years, maybe. I kind of lose track. But I am a integration specialist with the technology department. So we like to share all the technology ideas with our teachers.
Awesome, David. Thank you so much, mi corazón, for being here. Really, really appreciate it. Y con ustedes también.
Hola Feli, mi nombre es Valentín Guerra. Yo también soy un especialista en tecnología educativa para el Distrito Escolar de Far San Juan y Álamo y también me dedico primordialmente en primaria. So my name is Valentín Guerra. I'm an instructional technology specialist also for PSJSD alongside with Debbie and my boss Zenaida Elizondo here joining us. We are so blessed to have that invitation to have you over with you here today. And we're excited to share and learn also from everyone. I've been an educator for this is my 11th year, so I'm the newbie between the four of you, and I was in the classroom for a few years, and I've been in instructional technology now for my second or third year. I don't remember. Thank you.
Awesome, mi vida linda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And oh my God, friends, this community, these educators have brought a lot of happiness to my life. They've opened the door to their district to me, like the familia that we are here in the RGV, and the activities and the conversation that we have for you today. We're always talking about this because we're always saying in the conversations that we have in the preparation for this event, when we were, I asked them, I saw them at event, and I said, we're planning this event about Dia de los Muertos, and I would love for you all to be part of it. And then they immediately said yes. I was like, please be part of it. And then they said, of course, Feli. And I was like, my heart was almost getting out of my chest, because all of the things, all of the activities, and everything that they do, not only for their teacher, but also for our students, which are our main people, right? Our main idea all the time, and the main character in our hearts. And in part of the conversations, right, many of us believe that embracing cultural diversity and literacy is not just important, but it's also transformative for our students. So with that in mind, Zenaida, then the first question is going to be for you, maybe, Dalinda. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Lista?
I think so.
Let's start, my friend. And por favor, we're looking at the chat, any comments, anything you want to add, we're keeping an eye on the chat. Thank you all so much for being here. And we're going to start with question number 1 for our friend Zenaida. Here we go. So Zenaida, why is it crucial for educators to incorporate cultural diversity and literacy into their teaching strategies? And how, in your experience, how can these positively impact students' learning experiences and personal development?
So, Feli, I really, I love, first of all, I love the way that our panel today, we are kind of just across the board, all different diversity, and we can approach this topic in different aspects. But just to share a little bit about myself, because I feel like that kind of encompasses the whole. I grew up in the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. I didn't know how special my area was growing up. I thought that everybody lived somewhere like me, full of culture. And then it wasn't until I started traveling a little bit more north or Central Texas, visiting family members, going to visit some family members in Colorado, that I experienced the differences of culture. And growing up, some of the things that were our traditions, they didn't mirror like school and home. And so I noticed that now my kids, They celebrate more culture. They embrace it in the school system. Our area is really great about having all these festivals and all these things for our students. And so I think the biggest thing for me incorporating cultural diversity, and the biggest reason that it's crucial, is identity. Our students need to identify with who they are. They need to speak about where they came from, and their identity is part of who they are, right? Their identity is their values and their beliefs, and not just that, but they're being able to look like their home life, right? They're being able to speak to their parents and to relate to their grandparents and to their tias and their tios with those cultural belongings, right? Those things that they carry with them. And so when we at the school, we start encompassing stories, right? We start talking, like in our area, we have a story that everybody knows, and it's called La Llorona. And so we tell these stories, right? We tell these stories about La Llorona. Growing up, we knew about it, but then there's a book, and the students can actually read this book in middle school, and then it kind of opens up that door in the classroom as a teacher, where you can communicate with your students and say, hey, what did you hear growing up? Well, my tío said this, or my tía said this. And then it kind of opens that door so they can talk about just their general way of approaching culture, and kind of what they see as it's important to them, their family story. And I think it's so important when we start incorporating these stories, these culture, things like we start, like in our district, we have campuses that go ahead and incorporate Dia de los Muertos as the altar. And so they research these important people, Hispanic people and otherwise, in their lives, and then they're able to like talk about and share with each other. And that opens the doors, right? Because we do have other cultures and other beliefs in our area, and so students can kind of share with each other. Students can kind of relate and understand. Growing up, we spoke, Debbie and I and Valentin, we spoke about this. I told them I didn't have an altar in my house growing up for Dia de los Muertos. I remember reading about it in school, and I remember like different students in my class saying, yeah, like at my grandma's house, I have candles, and we leave special belongings, and we celebrate those people in our past. And I thought that was so neat. And so when I got to have my own daughter, she said, Mom, I have a project at school, and my project is to create a small altar or a remembrance. And so she chose to do that on my grandmother. And so she said, I'm going to do this on Grandma Aurora. And so she's actually named after her grandmother. Her name is Rory. And so she was able to learn more about her grandmother. And then she was able to share that with that was her great grandmother, I'm sorry, but she was able to share that with her grandmother and me. And so that is a memory that we keep forever. And that is a memory that she was able to share with her class. And so when she goes back and she starts writing this story about her great grandmother, then it's so relevant, right? The words kind of just flowed. She said, when I started writing, I started remembering all the things we did at your grandma's house. And so it was just it's just something I get so emotional about thinking about. And I think that is the biggest way to positively impact our students' lives, is letting them tell their story, their why. And I love that Flip lets them do that, right? We didn't have Flip, and my daughter didn't have Flip when she was in the classroom. Now she's 23, but she would have been able to record her voice and share along with that project, right? And we still have that project that she created, and she used some dried flowers, and she created this beautiful mural of her grandmother, and she gave it to my mother, of her great grandmother. She gave it to my mother, and my mother still keeps it, and she's fond of it. And so I love that our area, that we focus on biculturalism. Again, we speak English and Spanish, Spanglish. Hablamos de los dos. When we go to the store, you hear a lot of Spanish in our area, and we're multidimensional. Our students are able to apply different parts, right? And they're able to speak and kind of swap depending on who they need to speak to. And so they might change the way they speak to somebody at the grocery store or to their teacher, but they're able to understand different people. And I think that part of their identity, it doesn't leave them because they started off at a young age. And I think that's just, I don't know, it's so important. And I see that in my own young daughter now, learning folklorico and applying that, those folklorico dancing. I didn't learn that when I was younger, but her dad danced folklorico as a child. And so now that's something that they can share together, and they can kind of communicate and talk about, hey, Dad, when you were young, what did you do? And he said, I used to dance, and I used to do this. And it's just so neat to be able to have that conversation, right? And to have that association with your family and to keep that cultural significance, I think. So I don't know if I'm running out of time, Feli, because I could keep talking.
That was amazing, my friend. And yes, we can have this conversation for right? Because it's all about our students and it's all about our families and everything that you shared with us from your corazón, Zenaida. You talk about our traditions, right? Like our traditions didn't mirror what we were learning in school, right? How important it is to mirror what's happening in home, like what's happening in school. You also talk about identity, right? That the power of the word identity and how important it is for our babies, our students, to feel valued, right? To listen to their beliefs, to respect, right? To feel value and respect. That's key in the classroom. That happens when the relationships, right? I strongly believe that before curriculum, relationships with our students need to happen so that the learning happen. You also mentioned La Llorona, right? We're so familiar with La Llorona and the books, right? The books that we can read, the stories that we can bring into the classroom, and the twist, right, that we can do to the story, because I'm pretty sure everyone in their cultures has a Llorona or a story about with that same thing, right? With that same idea. You also talk about with the La Llorona, you talk about the power of storytelling. Like storytelling is just powerful and we can bring it into the classroom. And yes, my friend, we didn't have flip when we were in school, but it's now that we can share with our students and we can provide them the mic so that they can feel valued, right? They can feel respected and their voices can be celebrated. Everything that you said makes a lot of sense. I want to emphasize what you said, because you said también, mi vida linda, that our students, it's not, here in the area where we live, the majority of us are Mexican Americans, right? So when we are talking about our culture, but when we are talking about cultures in the classroom, our students also learn from other students that we have in the classroom. So they share, they relate, and they understand. And that, my friends, is equals to empathy. And empathy is just the key for everything. Empathy in life, right? It's just la empatía, like nuestro mundo sería muy diferente if we were to be more empáticos. And the learning with families, Zenaida, we're gonna need more time for this event because my God, you brought a lot of ideas to the table, my friend. A lot of things that I want to mention. I wanna repeat. Learning, the family engagement, the folklorico, right? The traditional folklorico. But you also mentioned that the bicultural, right? We talk about bicultural, like how we are bicultural and bilingual, but multi-dimensional, my friend. We're gonna create a shirt with that. Ya dije. We're gonna create a shirt with that. And let our students tell their stories, right? Give that space for our students to tell their own stories. Zenaida, thank you so much. We are gonna move on, my friend, because we can stay right here for todo el día, for way more than the time we promise our audience. Pero también I would love to talk about, just like Zenaida was saying, about the power of storytelling and the empathy and everything that we can do with our students. I know you shared the different activities that you have designed for teachers and for students in your district. And this takes me to our next question, our question number 2. And this question is gonna go to our friend Debbie. Debbie, I know, I don't know if you wanna share your screen, mi corazón, or we're gonna go without the screen, mi vida linda.
We can go ahead and share it. I can just show kind of quickly what we're doing with our flip hunt activities.
Amazing. And the reason why I'm asking Debbie to share their screen is because the question that I have for them is, can you share specific examples of how you have successfully used Flip to engage your students in discussions and activities related to literacy in all content areas? Because remember, it's all about all the content areas, but it's all, when we talk about language acquisition, every single one of us in the district is a language teacher. So with that in mind, Debbie, I know, let me add your screen. There it is. We have your screen.
Awesome.
Ready to go. And the mic is all yours, mi vida linda.
Okay, way to go. So we love Flip. We promote it all the time. We're not in the classroom per se, but we are working with teachers all the time and trying to guide them. And we want them to get their students engaged in the learning and, get them excited about participating and sharing their voices. So we do promote the use of Flip quite a bit. We have a best practice conference every year in our district where teachers come and, learn from all the ideas, not just technology, but, other content areas as well. But we did create this session, and we also actually did it at Region 1 at our regional conference on a scavenger hunt, flip hunt. This is one of our favorite ideas that we like to promote. We actually created a group in Flipgrid for the conference, and then we had different sections where we had a plan on how we were going to do our hunt. So we had to have some incorrect answers for those people that didn't get the right answer right off, and they could try again. We had some question and clues, and I'll show you some of those ideas that we had. We used the QR codes from Flip to help us with our responses, and we recorded our question and our clues as the groups would go around reading the questions. And then, of course, we had a Flip topic for their final answer. So this is kind of a scavenger hunt, and we did it with curriculum. We took kind of a middle of the road middle school content, and we tried to get different questions from each content area. So a teacher could design this, of course, for whatever content they're teaching. But we had some incorrect answer responses. And so we have Valentine giving his...
We couldn't hear the audio, but Valentin, do you want to tell us what you were saying there, my love?
I must not have shared the audio. I'm so sorry.
No worries,
that was more like saying I'm like peanut butter and pizza. Sounds wrong. So does your answer. Try again. Something like that.
We did. So we just had some corny kind of, fun responses. So I won't play the videos anymore since that isn't going to work, because I'm sorry, I forgot to share this out.
It's okay.
Then we created the question. So these videos have the question, it has the content, and we use the QR code around the room. We had a big room, and we put the QR codes, and we broke up the teams into groups. And so they had to go around and listen to the little video, which gave them the problem, but it also gave them whether or not they had the right answer from the previous lesson, from the previous answer. And so if they didn't, that's why they would get the wrong answer video. And if they did, they also would get a letter. And so the idea for here was to have them spell the word integrate at the end. And so they would gather the letters as they got the clues correctly. And then, of course, once they had all their letters, they had to put them all together and spell that word. So then we had And I'm sorry we're not going to be able to hear because these were the final answers. And you can see right here, one of our participants was Feli at one of our sessions. And they were, each team got to share their final answer in their voice, and they had some fun, doing that. So we did create, this was all the content that we used around the room. We had some of these things hanging up. And then we had this, we shared our plan so that teachers could go back and then create this in their own classroom with their content and with their students. So we kind of had a plan. Like, here's question 1. This was the answer that came from question 10. It was kind of like a rotation, the question. And then, of course, we had the QR codes here and the letter that they would earn. And so as they went down, it just kind of looped back. So it was a fun activity. Everybody loved it. And hopefully, I know some teachers have gone back. We have teachers in the district that I've seen them using it in their classroom. Maybe not as big a scale as this. Some use it at a smaller scale. But they definitely, we go to campuses and we see a lot of QR codes in the hall. We see them in the classroom. And they lead to flip. And they're, the students are participating or listening to questions that the teacher has and participating, and then they're able to share their voice. So that was one of our, most favorite activities, I guess, that we've done on Flip. And we are so excited that the students get to share their voice and just have some fun with it.
Amazing, mi corazón. Thank you so much for sharing. And in this PT session that these beautiful people were providing during a Region 1, we were attending our Region 1 conference. So in this activity, I was one of the students, right? So they had us, and I know Mr. Barlack, Mr. Barlack was there too. So we were the students running all over the place. We were engaged. They asked us questions in math, science, social studies, ELA, everything. And we were practicing. We were super excited about what was happening, right, Debbie? Because you had us jumping and running because we were very competitive, right? And we wanted to be the first ones to get the right answers. So it was a lot of movement in the classroom. There was a lot of engagement in the classroom. Every single person who participated was happy and laughing, and we were collaborating, and we were practicing all of our language domains. We were listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In such a beautiful activity with the QR codes in the classroom everywhere. We will scan the QR code, take us to the flip topic, and then work on the question, find the right answer with the letter so that we can go to the next activity or to the next step. But it was totally amazing. And imagine this in the classroom. Like I was at the end of the activity, I said, you had me all engaged. When I was in the classroom, I will always decide my lesson plans thinking, what if I have a Feli in my classroom? How am I gonna engage her? Like how, because my brain is always jumping all over the place. I get too excited about something y se me va la onda, se me olvidan las cosas because I'm super excited, right? So it's always about our students. How are we going to engage our students? But most importantly, have these or shelter them to feel comfortable sharing what they know, working, collaborating, having lots of fun, and practicing all the language domains, my friend. That was magical. Thank you so much, Debbie, for sharing that activity with us, mi vida linda. Les debemos el audio. So sorry about the audio, but any questions you have, these people are not only amazing educators, but they're also amazing human beings. So I know at the end of the conversation, we're going to share our socials with all of you. So if you have any questions, I'm pretty sure we can start, right? We can create, our learning network can grow, puede crecer. Y ahora, mi Valentín precioso, we're going to go with you with our next question, por favorcito. So the question that I have for you, Valentín, is, in what ways can Flip help us as educators foster a sense of belonging and inclusivity among students from the diverse cultural backgrounds that we have in the classroom, mi vida linda? And if you can share if there are any unique features or techniques that you have found particularly effective. Por favor, mi corazón.
Claro, Feli. Para empezar, one of the ideas or one of the things that I saw with Flip is that Flip is not one language. I've learned and I've seen, and now that is available, the menus in Spanish, but itself, the student responses and the teachers asking the questions can be in any language, not English or Spanish only. It's a multicultural world. So it can be in any of the languages that we have available. So what we have found amazing about Flip is that you can create a question and have it for the students, and the students are able to use that and create a video response and have that answer for them. Now, here in PSJ, we started to try new things. Like that Flip Hunt was an amazing activity that we came up together as a group, and it was, I'm not going to tell you that it was easy. Debbie and Marco can corroborate. Then we had a little hiccup, so thank God we went through a little trial and errors, and we fixed it the best we can. But it was fun. It was fun creating it, and that's one of the things, part of being educators, like imagining the outcome and seeing your students, or in this case, our educators that were our students, running around and having fun, and then them translating it into their classroom. So how can we do that beyond that? And Flip is just such an easy way and so versatile to allow us to do that sharing in the classroom. So we started collaborating with our instructional curriculum and instruction department, especially with the reading language arts. One of our closest friends in there, Carla, started brainstorming with us, and we came up with Flip Fridays, and she started putting it in the curriculum. And the most amazing thing about it is that she brought it with the SDGs, the United Nations SDGs, and is asking critical thinking questions to the students after reading an UCELA article, and then tying it into the SDG, and then an additional question. So the student every other Friday, I believe, will have to respond to this and create a video on Flip. Then the teacher is able to either showcase it in the classroom or send the QR codes home or the links with the parents. I feel like this way of utilizing Flip is not only encouraging the students to develop their oral language development, having REBs help our emergent bilinguals practicing their oral language skills and getting ready for TELPAs, but also utilizing the SIF strategies. If you're able to have your group, which is your classroom in Flip, and all of the students are able to see each other respond, there's a SIF classroom talk in there. So you can see each other responses, collaborate. For those students that are getting a little bit of shy, that might be a little bit more shy, they can not use a video, or they can cover themselves, or they can put costumes, digital costumes on themselves, and they will have a lot of fun. One of the newest things that we're trying to do that I feel is going to be very effective. I've been chatting with one of the librarians, and we want to create this collaboration as our department in instructional technology, where our library services department and librarians will create what I think we might call it into Flip Tales, bringing students' voices, bringing books to life. So students read books. Why not have them share what they learn about the book in their own words? So their voices are going to be bringing those stories to life. That will be telling us or relating us what they liked, what was the learning that they got out of it. La moraleja, para no fallar en eso. Besides that, take it a little bit beyond, and then start promoting those students with their learning, and maybe creating a podcast, hopefully being able to do something like that with Flip, or bring it in another type of social media. But ultimately, what I really like about Flip is, like I said, the versatility of integrating culture. It doesn't matter what language you speak. You have immersive reader built in with it. So any questions that you actually type, the students will be able to get it read to them or translated to the language of their preference. And these features and techniques will feel I think will make those students feel like they're understood, they're valued, whatever they come from, they're part of who we are, this education environment. And that's what we're doing. You're muted. Feli, you're muted.
Ahí está, ya les estaba yo cantando y no se dejan. Thank you for sharing all of those amazing ideas with all of us, Valentin. And what Debbie shared with us, and then Valentin shared with us, and Zenaida shared with us, it's a big formula right here. And it's not a difficult formula to follow. I think the main ingredient right here is loving what we do. Right? Todo con amor. Loving what we do, loving everything that we do in the classroom, loving our teachers, and loving our students. Flip Fridays, my friend. Woo! Flip Fridays with our babies. You talk about critical thinking, those questions, those high order thinking questions, right? That we want our students to be exposed to, right? And then you talk about bringing global issues, right? Bringing global problems, but bringing what Debbie mentioned and what Zenaida mentioned, our babies' ideas and our students' solutions to these problems. So everyone in the classroom has a say, so everyone in the classroom has a voice. Everyone in the classroom can bring an amazing solution to the problem, right, that we are talking about. You also talk about, my friend, bringing books to life in Flip. Ouch! Y hablaste también, our students creating these videos to recommend, right, the books. Y a poco no, yes or no, but we go shopping, my friends, and before we buy something online per se, right, we always look for those reviews, right? We want to know what other people are saying about that specific item. And we do it as adults. So imagine our own babies creating these reviews for the books that we're reading in the classroom using Flip in English and Spanish and any other language, right? Every language is welcome. Every student should feel welcome in your classroom. It's all about culture, right? It's celebrating who they are, where they're coming from, them and their families as well. Valentin de mi vida y de mi amor. We can talk about this the entire day. For the next question, Valentin, Debbie, and Zenaida, I want to give you 30 seconds to answer the question porque we are at time. And just like that, lo que le salga de su corazón. And we're going to be honest. I love what you said, Valentin. You said something, y ahorita I have a question about that, maybe that, because you said it wasn't easy, but we were working together, right? And we were a community. And sometimes that happens to us in the classrooms. Things are not easy, right? But if we are part of a community or learning community, juntos somos mejores. That is going to take me to the next question. Por favor, en 30 segunditos, in 30 seconds, can you provide us some practical tips and best practices for educators who are interested in using Flip to celebrate and promote cultural awareness, and literacy in their classrooms? What would you say to that educator? Who wants to go first?
I will say, go to her.
We're both the talkers.
Yes.
I think that get other people involved. So work with other teachers in your learning community, in your grade level. That way you're not doing this alone. That way you can bounce off ideas off of one another. So if you feel like you're not confident, reach out to somebody else for help. Your students will adapt and jump into this right away. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of give them the keys and they take off in the car. And I, for me as a parent, what was really meaningful using Flip during that vid time was, as a parent, my daughter bringing her device home and me helping her record, like holding her device up or kind of prompting her. So it's like a take-home product.
I will want to add that don't be scared. do it, try it. If you don't know how to do it, find your neighbor. There's somebody out there that will help you and hold your hand through it. Now, with the same sense as I was saying about the students, make it maybe broad. Allow the students to pick a topic. So when you have a topic in there, maybe what they want to talk about, let them culturally, whatever they see at home, whatever they've done during Christmas and a holiday, because Zenaida was explaining what she lived through and she had experiences, but it was not as the same as her parents or grandparents. Well, I grew up in Mexico. I never had a Dia de los Muertos, but I grew up knowing about it. It's just we are a mutt. We come from different cultures and different ways of upbringing. Allow your students to express themselves and to share who they are. And Flip can let you do that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna back up what Valentine said about not being afraid. Just try it and start out small. Start out with just a topic where the students have to tell, who they are, about themselves, and let them play around with the stickers and the backgrounds and just have fun with it. Before you use it, maybe for an educational experience, just let them try it out, so they can get comfortable with using Flip. And then as you use it more in your classroom with your content, they'll be familiar with how to use it. And they're, like they said, they're gonna, I like what Zenaida said, it's like giving them the keys to the car. They're just gonna take off with it. Kids, they're amazing with technology. They know more than we do, or they figure it out quick.
She said that because she has 3 daughters and they already took the car.
And Feli, you're muted again.
Who's muting me? Your kids, love what you share. Your kids have the answers, right? Valentin said, hey, if you don't know the answer, right, challenges are going to happen. Look for another teacher. But and Debbie, you said our students know a lot about technology, right? We can ask our own students and learn together. Y mostrarnos vulnerables. Sometimes we as teachers don't have the answers to everything, but that's how it is important for us as teachers and our students to become a learning community. And my friends, before we go, I have to ask, is there anything else you would like to say or to share to those of us who are with us today or catching the recording on demand in the future? Anything else you would like to add, my friends?
Flip can be done at any grade level. I forgot to tell you, I'm a huge early childhood educator. We've been doing Flip with stories. Students don't read, but they can still talk in front of a camera. Allow them to express themselves. Our littles can do it. So that, because they're pre-K 3, pre-K 4, kinder, no excuse. They can do it. We can help.
Thank you, Valentin. Thank you, Valentin. And Zenaida, Debbie, anything else?
Same.
Just have fun with it.
Just go for it. Just go for it. And it's like our friend Anne says, push all the buttons, right? Ustedes aplananle a todos los botones. She always says that, and I love that, and I always quote her on that because don't be afraid. Push all the buttons, and every single one of our babies can do this. And Flip is that it's muy versátil. It can bring a lot of fun into the classroom. So, ya estamos a tiempo, mis amores. We will love to share our gratitude for your willingness to share your experiences. Muchísimas gracias por haber aceptado nuestra invitación. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Zenaida. Thank you, Valentin, for being here. Thank you. And to everyone, we're so glad that you joined us today to learn from these incredible, amazing educators from our beautiful school district of FAR San Juan Alamo, located in the heart of the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. Puro RGB. So friends, you can keep the learning going. I am going to share my screen right now. Rapidito, I'm going to add it to the screen. Aquí está. So we can head to our Discovery Library, and remember that in our Discovery Library, we can find ready-to-use topics that we can boom, 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 right away use with our students to celebrate their culture, right? Because we talk about culture today. We talk about Dia de los Muertos, how important it is. Valentin said he grew up in Mexico. I grew up in Mexico too, and we highly celebrate it, right? Dia de los Muertos. So don't bring the cultures, but respect everybody's perspectives. I have created a collection of flip topics with activities that can be found at, I think the link is already on the screen, aka.ms, flip culture literacy. So with that link, you're gonna go straight to this collection of flip topics from our Discovery Library, and just 1, 2, 3, you can start using them with your students. So for example, this one right here, Dia de los Muertos, right, that was shared to us in our Discovery Library by our amazing partners of Wonderopolis. This topic right here explains, so gives us an idea, our background knowledge about Dia de los Muertos, and it also includes an article that we can, let me hide this, there we go, an article that we can use with our students, an informational text. So any of these topics are available to you, and we have more than 47,000 topics in our Discovery Library. We have a lot of content in English, but my friends, we also have a lot of content in Spanish. So let's say that you wanna talk about Dia de los Muertos, right, with your students, and you think this topic is the best one for you. All you gotta do, my friends, is just click right here on Add Topic. You can add it to your group, to any of your groups that you have with your students, or you can also create a new group right here from this topic in the Discovery Library, or you can save it for later and create your own collection. We have several topics right here ready to go. One of my favorite ones, this one, it talks about Just a Minute, which is a book by Yuyi Morales. It's a beautiful story about Dia de los Muertos. Dia de los Muertos is embedded in my heart. It's one of my favorite traditions from Mi Mexico Querido, and it brings all the love and the respect for the people that are not here with us, but they're always going to be in our hearts. Obsessed with this, I'm very respectful about this tradition. So this topic right here is a TELPA's practice. We can talk about culture, we can talk about language acquisition, and we can include everything right here in our classroom. So this is another topic that we are sharing as part of this collection that we just shared with you. And again, the link is on the screen. Así que, una vez más, let me remove my screen so that I can see everybody's beautiful faces. Una vez más, Zenaida, Debbie, Valentin, thank you all so much for sharing your ideas, your voices, for representing our babies, our students, our teachers. But thank you all so much for being who you are. Gracias por ser impresionantes seres humanos, impresionantes educadores, impresionantes amigos, y gracias por traer esta representación de nuestro hermoso Valle de Texas. Así que thank you. That's it for today, my friends. Thank you so much. Yo soy Feli Garcia Lopez, and on behalf of Microsoft Flip, our amazing guest, I want to thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Muchísimas gracias. Besitos, gracias.